Today is the last day of section 8 in chapter 5. It's also the last section that we cover in chapter 5. And today we are writing equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So first let's just remember that parallel lines have the same slope and perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So when we're writing equations of lines that are parallel or perpendicular, first we want to find the slope of the given line by solving for y. Then if the line we're supposed to write is parallel, we're going to use the same slope. And if the line we are supposed to find is perpendicular, then we're going to use the opposite reciprocal. So let's look at some examples. First we're writing the equation in slope-intercept form. That's the first thing to notice. And remember that's y equals mx plus b. And we're writing that equation of the line that passes through the given point, in this case it's 0, -2, and it's parallel to the given line. So we're writing an equation of a line that's parallel to the line we're given. So the first thing we need to figure out is what is the slope of this line. And the slope of the line we're given, it's already in y equals mx plus b form, so I know that the slope is the number in front of x, in this case is a 1. And we're writing an equation of a line parallel to that, so what will our slope be? And I'm going to put slope of the given line, that's what that g is going to stand for, and the slope of the new line that we're going to write is also going to be 1 because parallel lines have the same slope. So now we want to use point slope form. It's a little bit easier than trying to plug in and solve for b. So remember, point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and then we're going to rearrange that into slope-intercept form. So our line goes through this point, so we're going to do y plus 2, remember minus a negative. The slope of the new line is a 1, and we're doing x minus 0. Now we need to put this in y equals mx plus b form, so we're going to distribute. So we get x minus 0 or plus 0 or whatever you want to put back there, nothing if you want. And now we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. So we get y equals x minus 2. So the equation of the line that's parallel to the given line that goes through this point is y equals x minus 2. Example 2, we have 3x plus 2y equals 1. And our line is going to go through the point 0, 1. So first we need to find the slope of the given line, and we do that by solving for y. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. We get 2y equals negative 3x plus 1. Now we divide everything by 2 to get y by itself, and we get negative 3 over 2x plus 1/2, and we're not really concerned with this number back here. All we are focusing on is the slope. So the slope of the given line is negative 3/2, and the slope of the new line that we are going to write, since they're parallel, is also negative 3/2. So we're going to use this slope, the point that our line goes through, and we're going to write the equation in point slope form. Remember, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So now we're going to distribute and solve the equation for y because we're supposed to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Again, we get 0 back there. And if it's easier for you to write the 0 so that you can see what you're adding the 1 to, you can go ahead and do that. So we get y equals negative 3/2 x plus 1. So this is the equation of the line that's parallel to the line we were given and goes through the point 0, 1. Number 3 is y equals 3/4 x plus 1. So we already have it solved for y. We know that the slope of the given line is 3/4. So the slope of the new line is also going to be 3/4 because, again, the line we're writing is parallel to this line. Parallel lines have the same slope. So we're going to use point slope form, y minus 8 equals 3/4 times x minus 1. That's plugging in x1 and y1 from the point that our line goes through. We need to distribute, so we get 3/4 x minus 3/4. Now we need to add 8 to both sides. So we get y equals 3/4 x. Now some of you are going to put 7 1/4, and that's fine. I just don't want any decimals here. But instead of 7 1/4, I'm going to write it as an improper fraction. So I'm going to say 29/4. This gives you, this is -3/4 plus 8. So you might do some side work. Yesterday we were getting common denominators. So it'd be 32/4. -3 plus 32 is 29/4. So here's the equation of the line that's parallel to that given line and goes through the point 1,8. You want to pause the video here and try number 4 on your own. This one you have to rearrange first to find the slope. So we're going to subtract x to both sides. 2y equals -x plus 6. Now we're going to divide everything by 2. And that gives us y equals -1/2 x plus 3. Again, we're not really concerned with the number back here. We just want to focus on the slope. So the slope of the given line is a -1/2. And the slope of the new line that we're writing is also -1/2. Remember, because they are parallel. So we use point slope form. Y minus 1, coming from the ordered pair, -1/2 x minus 2. So we get y minus 1 equals -1/2 x plus 1. Take a -1/2 times a -2. Remember that subtraction sign makes that 2 negative. We get a +1. Now we're going to add 1 to both sides. And we get y equals -1/2 x plus 2. You could actually verify this by graphing both of these equations and making sure that they are in fact parallel. That would be a good way to check. So now let's switch gears. Let's do the same thing, but this time we are going to write an equation of a line that's perpendicular to the given line. So we still need to find the slope of the given line. Remember, it's the number in front of x when we have it solved for y. That's 1. So what's the slope of the new line going to be? Well, we need to take the opposite reciprocal since the lines are perpendicular. So opposite means we're going to make it negative. But if you think about the reciprocal of 1, if we write 1 as a fraction, it's 1/1. And if we take the reciprocal of that, it's still 1/1. So the opposite reciprocal of 1 would be a -1. So now we're going to use point slope form. We're going to use the ordered pair we're given because our line is going to go through that. Y plus 2 equals a -1 times x minus 8. So that gives us y plus 2 equals a -x. I don't typically write the 1 there. Plus 8, -1 times -8. Now we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. And we get y equals -x plus 6. These lines are in fact perpendicular. They have opposite reciprocal slopes. And the line that we have just written, the equation, does go through that ordered pair since we used it in the point slope form. Example 6, we have -3x plus y equals 1. So again, we want to solve this equation for for y by adding 3x. So we get y equals 3x plus 1. So the slope of the given line is a 3, but the slope of the new line is going to be what? We need the opposite reciprocal of 3, so -1/3. We're going to use this ordered pair. Y minus 0 equals -1/3 times x plus, minus 2. We distribute the -1/3 through the parentheses, and you should get 2/3. Y minus 0, if I add 0 to both sides, that doesn't do anything, so I'm just going to drop the 0. And we get y equals -1/3 x plus 2/3. And again, if we check it with this equation at a positive 3x slope, positive 3 slope, this one has a negative 1/3 slope. They are in fact perpendicular lines. I'm going to try this one on your own. You can pause the video. We have the slope of the given line is a negative 1/3. So the slope of the new line, since they're perpendicular again, is a positive 3. It's kind of the reverse of the last problem. I think we just flipped them around here. So we have y plus 4 equals 3 times x minus 1/3. We distribute, we get 3x minus 1. Those 3's cancel when you multiply 3 times a third. Wait, why did I put a third there? That should be a 1, sorry. A 1 from the ordered pair. So then this becomes a 3. Now we subtract 4 from both sides, and we get y equals 3x minus 7. This is the line then that's perpendicular to the given line from the problem, and it goes through that ordered pair. Hopefully you got that right. If not, you're able to see where you went wrong. And finally, let's look at example 8. We need to solve this for y. So we're going to subtract x from both sides. That's a negative x plus 6. We're going to divide everything by 2. So we get y equals negative 1/2 x. Understand where that comes from. There is a negative 1 in front there, so that is a fraction. A lot of people are tempted to put a negative 2x there when it's in fact a negative 1/2 x plus 3. So the slope of the given line is a negative 1/2, but the slope of our line, or the new line, since we're perpendicular, needs to be the opposite reciprocal, which is a positive 2. So we get y minus 1 equals 2 times x minus 2, plugging in the ordered pair. Y minus 1 equals 2x minus 4. We add 1 to both sides, and we get y equals 2x minus 3. That's the equation that's perpendicular to the given line. In class, we'll work on the last worksheet for this chapter before we start preparing for the test.